In the words of Lee Corso, not so fast, my friend. Okay, listen. The one thing about Bill, you got to understand the situation that the Patriots are in right now. Obviously, Tom Brady moved on to Tampa Bay. All right, a lot of guys opted out, due to COVID, especially on the defensive side of the football. They're going to be in a position where they haven't been in probably 20 years, before the Tom Brady era. They're going to be drafting pretty high, not at the bottom of the first round. So they're going to have premium draft picks. They're also going to have New England's going to have, I think, like the third highest cap space in the National Football League. We know the cap is going down, okay, this offseason. So there's going to be a lot of teams that's going to be stuck in a tight situation. A lot of players that we didn't see that we wouldn't expect in free agency. They're going to be on the open market, and Bill's going to be right there in the thick of things, ready to make his move. So, listen, there's no way in hell that Tom Brady goes on to Tampa Bay and making things happen down there, and Bill is just going to be like, you know what, I'm just going to retire. Man has an ego just like everyone else. Bill can coach probably another 10 plus years if he want to. I don't see a scenario where Bill Belichick just gives it up after this year.
No, listen, D. Wood, just so we can put it in context, what I'm trying to say is that, this is an opportunity maybe for him to do something that I believe that he's always wanted to do. I think that he has a love and a passion for the New York Giants, and that he would love to go there and maybe help and maybe step back a little bit. He's 68 years old. Maybe he wants to be a general manager like his mentor, Bill Parcells, did later in his career, start buying the groceries and letting somebody else make the meal. At what point is he going to look Josh McDaniels, who turned down a head coaching job for the Colts, and look him in the face and say, I'm going to give you my world? And then when is he going to finally give it to him? Because it looks like he's just got him in a holding pattern. And at some point, you got to move on and give this young man an opportunity to be a coach. He came back because he trusted you and he believed you and he thought that he was the future head coach of the Patriots. This is a perfect time to maybe set him up right? Because he's going to have draft space. He's going to have a high draft pick, the opportunity to maybe take Justin Fields, Zach Wilson, Mac Jones, or Trey Lance. He's going to have an opportunity to get his franchise quarterback and do it his way. And you can mentor him, but it may be better for him to ride off into the sunset. Maybe not this season or the next, but maybe, in the next 2 years, I can see Bill maybe want to do something a little different and allow, McDaniels to do what he said he was going to do, be a head coach in this league.
Well, listen, I think you bring up a great point in that Bill Belichick, he loves the New York Football Giants. Anyone that's been around Coach Belichick for any amount of time, he's talked about his time with the New York Giants, particularly Lawrence Taylor and all the defensive guys. He has an affinity for that organization. So, listen, I would never put it out the realm of possibility that something like that could possibly happen. I'm just saying that, from Bill Belichick's perspective, the work is not done in New England. I just don't see a scenario where he leaves the organization, especially after this year where most people will look at, the work of the Patriots is a down year. When they have the cap space, they're going to, hopefully we will, be beyond the pandemic at some point next year. So the Patriots are going to be on the rebound. So I just can't see it next year, but maybe at some point, down the road that I could see him moving, possibly moving to a upper management spot with the New York Football Giants.
D. Wood, let me take you from the AFC East to the AFC North to the Baltimore Ravens. When you hear Lamar Jackson confide in Rich Eisen on his show saying, when I get to the line of scrimmage, they're calling out the plays that before I even get there, what does that mean to you?
It looks like listen, when people start calling out your plays, it look like your formations of things are too predictable. I always said when Lamar Jackson came into the mix and the Baltimore Ravens brought out this whole new offense, it was almost like playing the service academy in college. And Bart would know what I'm talking about. You go week to week to week playing these traditional type of teams, and all of a sudden you run against a service academy that runs something totally against what you're used to. It catches you off guard. Well, guess what? Now teams have started to see this Baltimore Ravens offense quite a few times, and people starting to zero in and pinpoint on what exactly they're doing and about formations and all the little things that gives you tips. So maybe the coaching staff they need to change up formations or personnel groupings, because if you got guys tipping you being tipped off, then that's on coaching more so than anything else.
Here's the problem, D-Wood, right? And I compare their offense to the Wildcat. There's basically just a Wildcat with a real quarterback at the quarterback position, not Ronnie Brown. But the bigger indictment to me isn't on Lamar Jackson. It's on the fact that the Ravens, remember when we had Sanchez, right? And Rex thought that, hey, we need to keep improving the defense, and drafting Quentin Copels and drafting, all the other guys, right? But he didn't understand you make the defense better by making the offense better. And he kept going out and getting all these shiny pieces for the defense, but not understanding that he got to put some pieces on the offense. So when I look at the Ravens and I look at how they're constructed, Calais Campbell, probably over $100 million, Brandon Williams, Derek Wolfe, Yannick Ngakoue, right? You look at Judon, he's making $15 million. They just gave Marlon Humphreys $90 million. Marcus Peters signed him last year. Jimmy Smith's making like $10 million. All their equity and all their money is spent on the defensive side of the ball. And then guess what's left over for Lamar Jackson? He gets Willie Snead, the great Willie Snead, the fifth receiver for Drew Brees, and he gets Hollywood Brown. Those two combined wouldn't make the top 40 wide receiver list. So now teams can just stack the box knowing that the guys out there, when I put my number one lockdown corner, which every team has a lockdown corner because that's how games are won, the dude is like, man, I got Willie Snead. Oh, man, I'm taking this week off.
Well, listen, I think that's something you brought up that's been brought up before, the lack of weapons on the outside the numbers. Any young quarterback, obviously the Baltimore Ravens, they have tight ends, which is great. They got running game and got tight ends that can work the middle of the field. But at the end of the day, you still need to have a guy on the outside that can give you chunk plays because, as you know, it is very hard to have 10, 12-play drives in the National Football League. It's very hard. This is an offensive league that we're in, high scoring. And part of that is you need explosive players that play on the outside. And that's the one deficiency that the Baltimore Ravens have on the offensive side of the ball.
There's no question about it. I know most of you are listening on the radio, but if you're watching on TV, I can literally tell you Damian has been backed into a corner, and he came out swinging.
I am, literally. Most people think I'm in the bathroom or something like that, but my kids got me trapped, man. So this is where I hang out at.
D-Will, you've been on both sides, so you know for Bill Belichick that New York's a much better place to live anyway. Yeah, your coach just got stripped from Boston.
Yeah, well, listen. I've been living in this area for quite some time, man, so I can attest about this area.
They are neighbors, Bart and Damian. Always great to have Damian on the show. Damian, thank you so much.
All right, D.
All right. Appreciate it, guys.
You got it. He appeared on the Shell Pennzoil Performance Line, brought to you by Shell V-Power Nitro Plus Premium Gasoline. One quick note, play has been suspended at Augusta National at round one of the Masters because of lightning and inclement weather. We should mention...
Come on, 2020!
Right.
Get it together!
I was hoping to see Happy Gilmore, man. Chimbo, man. I want to see him hit it.
We're not going to see anything at the moment.